What is going on here? What is this? What is this strange planet?
We are the Alarians, a species that was once under attack by biological ships from a strange portal in our system. After setting up defenses in the form of a deep space citadel, we managed to hold them off and have finally entered the portal and destroyed the nest. Now we are an intergalactic trade empire and a bulwark of the Urk Empire. However, we are growing rapidly in strength and soon we will be stronger than our overlords.
Okay, we now have enough influence to absolutely steal from the Urk.
We changed our defense contract so that the Urk would subsidize our economy by 75%, sending us over 400 energy a month, among other resources, and which scaled with our economy.
And they said yes. They find no fault with these changes. Wow. Very good. Yes. I agree. The only thing I have to consider is that if I ever go to war with these guys, my economy is going to collapse because it is propped up right now. So I just figured out why the Urk said yes to the previous agreement. Your agreement with the Urk does not allow this action. I also can't establish commercial pacts. Basically, I'm not my own person anymore. I think one of the things we're struggling the most with right now is pop growth. We do not get a lot of pop growth, and so we need another method by which our pops grow, because right now we only have the one. So either we need robots to augment this, we need cloning, we need something. And I'm going to start construction of a second deep space citadel in this system.
We set up a second Starlit Citadel in the Gaping Maw system. This one would be placed between the already existing station and the portal, forcing enemies to engage the Citadel and bringing them in range of the second, allowing for a more strategically defended system. We also began upgrading and building citadels all around our borders, preparing our defenses.
Which means that I will have my entire borders completely defended, so that I can go to war with the USSR and all of their allies to steal all of their branch offices. That, of course, is once I'm independent again in like 2 years. Oh boy. Okay, well, it seems that we have some sort of plague going on. However, it looks like our Deep Space Citadel is going to deal with them, which is very good.
The worms were effectively countered by our Citadel, and for now, their spreading has been stopped.
The Deep Space Citadel is dealing with it very effectively, and they are being absolutely destroyed, which is very good. Okay, we should be able to engage in our own diplomacy again. Had to give up a little bit of resources, but this was needed. I should be able to declare war on these guys. The USSR and the Blorg commonality. The Blorg have overwhelming fleet power compared to us, which is why I am really trying to beef up all of my borders, because they're gonna flow through here. We're building another one of these in the Gaping Maw Strange portal, and the goal is that any ships that attempt to use this portal to get to me are going to get first pulled into this citadel, which then pulls them next to this one. Also, I didn't realize that these count towards your starbase cap, which is a little bit frustrating. Oh boy, I didn't actually realize I was already at war. I didn't think about the fact that they would attack oh, shoot! Well, this is good that I figured this out now, before I attacked someone else and lost.
Fortunately, my allies, the Radishan conglomerate, came to my aid to help us fight off the Levian Collective, who it seems were responsible for declaring the war in the first place. We attacked some of the star bases they had seized, pushing them back out of our space.
Man, it definitely seems the Urk are benefiting from us as their bulwark, because we are fighting, and we are fighting hard for them. Yes, they're paying us a lot of money, but they can afford it. Look at that. We're now equivalent in fleet power, equivalent in technology level. They only beat us economically. Wait, what? What do you mean, 2 planets? What is going on here? What is this? What is this strange planet? Oh, a science nexus. Okay, just everyone, a moment, please. This is the sickest planet I have ever freaking seen.
The planet Belgium, or should I say planets, collided millennia ago. However, strangely, the collision stabilized, and an equilibrium has formed, and now the planets both sustain life. This strange system exists past the Earth through a wormhole in our space.
Yeah, it's 100% habitability. This is the most 28. And there's so many ruined districts. Dense jungle, sinkholes, radioactive wasteland, city ruins. There's a civilization here. Battlefield remains. It's an arcology? What? I'm so amazed. All right, we are engaging with the last of the stations that we lost. Oh, it seems I did build a deep space citadel here, or they did. Do these things get destroyed when you lose them, or do they just change sides? So I did build one in Jesmac. I knew it, and I didn't have one in Feni. I'm not losing my mind. They just pushed it and took it, which means that now that I have this again, I want to upgrade it. Yeah, they pushed through it. So if they could push through that, that means that I definitely need to upgrade them if I'm going to stand up against the Blorg. The situation on the so-called collided planet has turned out to be far more precarious than anticipated. A recent series of earthquakes opened up the old scars around the impact zone, causing a significant amount of magma to erupt from the ground. To make matters worse, if the joint planets are not stabilized within the next 50 years, our readings predict that tectonic activity will continue to escalate, ultimately causing the complete disintegration of Belgium Prime. Absolutely not. Can we fix this? Hello? No. No, this makes me so sad. No, there's nothing to do. Man, that is so sad. Let's get another research enclave. Let's get this tech world going. We'll build another one of those.
I then began working on the economy, setting up further branch offices, and spreading the company brand.
So apparently I have two options in front of me. I can either stabilize the collision so that nothing bad happens for the next little bit, for the next 50 years until the planet disintegrates, or I can utilize the emissions to terraform the planet into a Gaia world, maybe, and then it collapses in 50 years. Or I could do nothing and observe. This is so sad. I mean, why not just utilize the emissions then and try and make a beautiful world, I guess. That's what we'll do. Hopefully it works. It seems we finally have pieced together the puzzle of Ingress and the gaping maw system where the biological ships came from. So it seems that the planet Ingress is a massive grave, and that something that was bioengineered destroyed everything on the planet and then soon attacked us. Okay, this is annoying. It seems that the they figured out what I'm up to, and they know I'm low on influence, so they're gonna try and force me to become their vassal again, where I would have to pay 30% taxes on both of these things, which I could not afford right now. No way. Okay, I can decline it. I'm just gonna say no politely. Sorry, no, I like the current arrangement, actually. I have started upgrading these to level 3 now, and my goodness, does it look cool. Let's actually look at that again. Space Citadel level 3. My gosh, that thing is beautiful. Costs a ton of Unity, though, so I've secured the southern border. If Jesmac is done upgrading, no, it's not, but it will be done soon. I'll upgrade that one. The northern border is safe because of these guys, I think. I don't think anyone can go through them, right? Like, if I was to try and route a ship through there, would it be allowed? Oh, it would be. Oh, well, that's interesting. Okay, so we need to secure Auzuia, because the Blorg could just go straight through and attack us.
We then set up several more deep space citadels on the northern border.
This is so sad. Maybe it won't collapse. Maybe it'll stabilize. Ah! Haha! As I was looking at it. Wow. A paradise, a planet capable of sustaining nearly every form of life imaginable. To be able to save a doomed world and to transform it into something this inspiring, has there ever been a greater accomplishment? Wait, what do you mean? Is it not going to disintegrate now? Like, what happens? Did it... Yo! No! Where did the freaking planet go? It just vanished. It just got eaten. This is so sad. Can I go back? Can I save it? Now I have a size 28 Gaia world. Okay. Sure. Okay, this is good. We got robots, finally. It's going to take 9 months, and then we are going to set these up everywhere. Oh boy, wow, this thing is huge. Look at this level 3 in Sim, 103,000? That can't be. Bro, it's the year 2298. That's insane. So if I can just wall up the rest like of my space with these things, there's nothing can get me. Nothing. What is this place? Mondex Retreat. What have I found? 600 trade value. Shoot. That's good. Oh, and it's getting bombarded. Oh, great. Okay. I suppose we could help. You know, protect our collective interests a little bit. Okay, so now I should be able to build robots everywhere. I'm trying to rescue that poor planet that was producing so much trade for me. Unfortunately, like half its people got stolen, and so it's not producing near as much trade as it used to. And it seems we will win, in fact. Man, am I so happy that I saved this planet. It's producing 1,000 trade a month. Let's hire some ground troops. Let us declare war to seize assets. Hostile takeover.
We immediately routed our fleets to the USSR territory, as well as purchased mercenaries from the Mercenary Enclave to invade their planets.
Do they have a Wargle yet, is the question. Yes, the Alarian trade is humiliated, reducing their empire. Oh, that's fine. They get 100 influence. This isn't even that bad. Nothing can really happen, so hopefully this just works and I get what I want. Oh my gosh, what a perfect time for this to launch. Starbase hull points plus 20%. Interesting, we have found these guys. Maybe we could actually purchase something from them. Mercenaries. Yeah, we could. Hey. This is a good use of our energy. There we go. Armada of the Voidborn, 17k. Yo, let's go. Excellent. We have another fleet here. The Hydra's Mercenaries, which we can now command. Well, let's push into Luris and buy up some energy. If all of this works, we could almost keep all of these fleets on the deficit we will be able to run. They're only superior to us now that we have like 70k fleet power. I don't know. Let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah, we're gonna easily rip through them. And yeah, if we lose a few ships, so what? We'll get them all back. They're all rented. They're all hired hands. We might need to actually attack the Blorg in order to secure this W. Okay, the troops are landing and fighting. And these are all mercenaries too. These are none of our people. The battle continues to rage on the planet. Karba's landing. Their troops are falling. And soon the surface will be ours. Karba's landing is now ours. I could buy more fleets from these guys. Maybe I could get the Blorg to attack the Gaping Maw.
We ended up purchasing more fleets from the mercenaries in order to invade the Blorg.
I'm going to pull everything back to the Gaping Maw system, basically my forward command base. From there, identify how I'm going to push into their space. I might just do it from the bottom and move up. Okay, with our fleets all gathered in the Gaping Maw system, so begins the Blorg offensive.
Our strategy was to send our fleets up through the Fallen Empire into Blorg space. This way, if we needed, we could easily retreat back into our own space. We also sent operatives into the Blorg commonality to gain intel on their economic and scientific progress, and hopefully fleet intelligence as well. At this point, we knew the Blorg were much stronger than us, but we didn't know by how much. We also purchased large quantities of rare resources to help augment our fleets. We encountered their first defense fleet while still in the Fallen Empire territory, marking our first official battle with the Blorg. Fortunately, it was just a small reconnaissance fleet, and we smashed through it, pushing into their space.
It seems we are finally loyal to the Urk since they are paying us so much, and we actually reached our tier 2, which is so good for us because it means that our commanders gain abilities. Everything does more damage. Our star bases, our defense platforms, shield hardening, armor hardening. Monthly energy credits negative 35%.
The penalty applied to all of our raw resources, making it much more difficult to sustain our economy.
Did all of our commanders gain the trait is the question. Yes, they did. That's awesome. Bulwark Watcher, Bulwark Retaliator in friendly systems. The issue with this is that it's only in friendly systems. It's like defense purely.
We continued to fight, pushing past their bastions and defeating several of their small defense fleets. However, strangely, we encountered little Stark resistance. With the first systems taken, our mercenary armies began dropping on their planets.
It seems the Blorg are pushing into our space. However, little do they know there's practically nothing they can do to me. They can take these 3 systems, which I do not need. They produce hardly any resources. And this system that is on its own is heavily defended and is upgrading to a deep space citadel, which is cheaper now that I am a bulwark level 2. Man, the bulwark vassalage state is amazing. So good for war. Just a reminder, I'm playing on Grand Admiral on the hardest difficulty with no scaling, going up against this huge empire that was recently overwhelming. Bulwark is great, and I would say that I had a weak empire coming into this, and now we have just absolutely leveled up by becoming their bulwark.
The Blorgs routed one of their fleets toward a wormhole which led to our forward command base in the Gaping Maw system. The fleet was quickly neutralized, demonstrating the power of our starlit citadels. Meanwhile, our fleets continued pressing on into Blorg space, capturing further systems and starbases. We also realized that we could trade our admirals with special bulwark traits to our overlord for large amounts of favor. This favor we could exchange for borrowing several of their military fleets. Then, while we were distracted attacking the Blorg, the USSR managed to pay for a mercenary fleet to come and reclaim their capital system, presumably using some offshore count for the purchase. They then began bombarding our defensive troops we'd left on Karba's Landing, their capital. We then breached one of the Blorg's primary systems, Asparagus, the old capital of the Anti-Vegan League, now occupied by the Blorg. This marked a significant milestone in the war.
Okay, we are getting some ships, the few that I'm borrowing from my overlord, plus one of my smaller expendable fleets from here, and we're going to try and go defend the claimed territory in the USSR. Hopefully they're not able to take the planet, because that would be very frustrating.
We then launched a massive invasion of the planet Broccoli, the Anti-Vegan League's old capital, and met fierce resistance. Then we began splitting our fleets, sending half to the right and the others to the left, encountering weak resistance along the way. The victories we were achieving pushed us closer to our war goals. However, the war was not concluding as quickly as we had hoped, and we had yet to face the bulk of their fleets. The leftmost fleets engaged a small defense force, utterly destroying it, and continued pushing into their space. We found several more planets to invade on this left side and called in more mercenary armies to invade them. Then on the right side, we pushed further in, sending one fleet upwards to engage several starbases and ensure no ships could be produced behind our lines. We commenced several more planetary invasions, while the Blorg finally began to put together a resistance, sending a combined fleet power over 100,000 toward us from the right side. We attempted to hold, pulling the fleets in the area on the right side together, although it was looking more and more certain we would need to retreat to a more defensible location, where we could fully regroup. At Karba's Landing in the USSR, our secondary fleets arrived and began attacking their fleets. Unfortunately, we had lost the battle for the planet, and would need to send another invasion army to reoccupy the USSR homeworld. Then, all at once, the Blorg launched their counterattack, moving all of their combined fleets in from the right.
I think what we're going to do is fall back to Asparagus and hope that they chase us, taking damage from Altair along the way. And in that time, this fleet of 6k will come and join. Also, if they attack right now, our battle readiness isn't where it needs to be, so everything points to us retreating.
The infiltration reports indicated the Blorg still held overwhelming fleet strength in comparison to our own. However, before attacking with their full strength, several of the fleets split off again, heading north, and so we turned on all our attack edicts and pushed towards the remaining fleets which still rivaled our own. They didn't see us coming, and half their fleets were bombing a planet we still occupied, allowing us to fight their fleets consecutively and giving us the advantage. We suffered heavy losses from the exchange, however, they lost all of their ships. The Blorgs then began sending peace offers, hoping to end the hostilities in order to protect their vassals, the USSR, from losing their assets. The war progressed for some time with little change, all the while our own war exhaustion continued to grow. One of our fleets flanked the Blorg, drawing them out from behind, and created an opening for our fleets. With the distraction, we made one final push to destroy their last armada and conquer the remainder of their space. We invaded several more of their planets and successfully pushed them back to the outer reaches of their empire, where they made one last stand. The battle was tipped in our favor and we were victorious. With their main fleet destroyed, we had only to hunt down their smaller secondary defense forces and land on their last 10-ish planets. We fought the scattered remains of their fleet again as they tried to regroup and destroyed what last attempts they could make to come against us. Then, as we were moving our invasion troops to prepare to land on the last few planets, the Levian Collective began attacking us, as the war with them still raged on. However, they did not attack our systems, but instead the ones we had captured from the Blorg, damaging the progress of our war goal. Okay, this is really freaking annoying. The Levian Collective has started interfering in this conflict, and I'm not really super happy with that. Unfortunately, we were forced to make peace as our war exhaustion had hit 100%. The peace offer brought no border adjustments and awarded us 0 branch offices. This was very frustrating since we had all but fully conquered the Blorg and the USSR. This is what's gonna happen now. I'm going to turn this empire that I have into a military state as best I can, that the Blorg will have no power against me. They will be crushed. And so we called back all our military ships and began preparing for another invasion once the treaty ends. They're literally using their space dragon to fight. Bro, the Levian Collective does not hold back. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please consider becoming a member, where you can watch my content early or join my games when I live stream. If not, please consider subscribing.